All right, so what you'll find for Thursday's assignment, when you get to Thursday's assignment, you are going to have access to this practice sheet. So my advice to you is to go ahead and print it if hopefully you have access to a printer. And basically what this sheet is I've done every other math problem for you. So when you pull this up, you'll see that I have set up for you and completed number 1. You can see my answer in all my work. And then you guys have to do number 2. I've worked out number 3. I've showed you my work and I showed you my answer. And then you guys are going to end up doing number 4, so on and so forth. So I've done for you every other problem. And for Thursday's work, you will have completed, the other problems. All right. So then when you go to put your answers into Canvas, it'll say, type your answer to question number 2. So it's all coming from that sheet that you have access to. And you are going to type your answer here and round it to the nearest hundredths. Okay. So make sure you know how to round correctly. I'm very specific up here in my directions. It says round each number to the hundredths. If you don't round correctly, you'll get the questions wrong. And then I give you a couple of examples. Okay, so these are like real world type questions. So make sure you look at that Google sheet I give you access to. You can see my answers and my work on half of them, and then you guys have to do the other half. Okie dokie. All right, so let's get into Pythagorean theorem in the real world. So I'm gonna turn this on. I believe we're starting on slide number 23. Let me see. Let me go back to my directions for today. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I am much more comfortable working from my office than my home, but yeah, it says we're going to begin on slide 28. So let me get to slide 28 and we will begin. All right. Have I lost anyone? Is everyone still with me? All right, but we will meet again before you guys do this work on Thursday. Okay, so kind of a strange week. You don't have any Zooms or any work for tomorrow. So we'll meet today, we'll meet again on Wednesday, and then your first assignment and the only assignment for this week will be it's assigned on Thursday. Okie dokie. All right, here we go. So here's a video. If you, after we meet today and Wednesday, if you still need some examples of real world problems involving the Pythagorean theorem, come back and watch this video. Okie dokie, we're not going to watch it together today, but you have access to my slide deck. All right, so this is our first problem that we're looking at. It says a ladder leans against a second-story window of a house. If the ladder is 25 meters long and the base of the ladder is 7 meters from the house, how high is the window? So for all of these real world problems, if you will actually draw a picture, it'll be easier for you. And of course, since we're using Pythagorean theorem, you need to assume that every single question is with a right triangle. Darius, did you have a question, babe? No? Okay. All right, so let's pretend this is the side of a house and pretend that's a straight line. I can't draw on these little slates I have, but we're talking about a ladder. So a ladder, anytime you use a ladder, it's going to be leaned against the house. And it tells us that our ladder is 25 meters long. And then it tells us that the base of the ladder, so here's the base of the ladder, it's 7 meters from our house. So here's our house. So this is 7 meters from our house. The question is, how high is the window? So basically we're seeing how high, what is this length right here? So in this problem, you can see, if you draw a picture, that the house and the base of the ladder forms a 90-degree angle. So the ladder is actually the hypotenuse, right? So in the Pythagorean theorem, the hypotenuse is always C. So we're going to use what we know. We're going to use our Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And c is always the hypotenuse. So 7 is one of the legs. So we can use 7 for either a or b. It doesn't matter. We don't know the other leg, but we know that the ladder, the hypotenuse, is 25 meters long. Okay, so we're going to plug that into the Pythagorean theorem. So what is 7 squared? Please tell me, what is 7 squared? Somebody either speak or type. What is 7 squared? 49. Thank you. 49. So we know 7 squared is 49. We don't know b or b squared. What is 25 squared? Someone please tell me. Colton said 625. Can anyone agree with Colton? Thank you, Hayden. All right, so now we need to figure out what b squared is. How do we get b by ourselves? What are we gonna do? How do we get b by itself? Anybody? Anybody? Tell me, Jackson. Tell me. How do we get b by itself? How do we get b by itself? We got to get rid of plus 49, right, guys? How do you get rid of a positive 49? You subtract 49. Thank you, Colton. Thank you, Hayden. We're going to subtract 49 from both sides of the equal sign. Yep, you got it. You got it. Now y'all are awake. Thank you very much. So our 49s go away. So we're left with b squared equals, what is 625 minus 49? 625 minus 49. I'm showing it's 570. Thank you, Hamina, 576. And now, how do we know what is b? B squared is 576. How do we know what b is? We find the square root of both sides. The square root of b squared is b. And what is the square root of 575? Or excuse me, 576? I have a different type of calculator here. I have to get used to using it. Colton said 24. Is that exactly 24? Is 576 a perfect square? Guess what? Ashlyn said, I have a calculator now. What? No way. Nice. Good job. All right. Yeah. So 576 is a perfect square. So the answer is 24. So how high is the window? The answer is 24 feet. Got it? Hayden, did you get a calculator? Maybe. Not yet, but it's ordered, right, Hayden? It's ordered? No. Oh, I thought you were going to say yes. Okay. All right. So does that make sense, you guys? We're good? We're good? All right. So on all of these, like I said, on all of these real world problem, Pythagorean theorem problems, you are going to draw a picture. And if you're a better artist than me, then good luck to you, because I am not a good artist at all. All right, let's look at this one, everybody. Jane's TV screen is 5 feet in length and 5 feet wide. The length of the diagonal measures the size of the television. What is the size of Jane's TV? So I don't know if you guys know this, but fun fact. So, you know, when you look at the dimensions of a TV, it'll say it's either a 60-inch TV or, I don't know, 54-inch television. Did you know that the length of a television is actually the diameter from one side to the other? So when it says it's a 60-inch television, it's talking about the diagonal from one corner to the other. It's not talking about the length this way. So if you have a 60-inch television, it's not 60 inches this way from base to base. It's 60 inches in the diagonal. So fun fact, I bet a lot of your parents didn't know that.
Are you here, Cheryl?
What, Jackson? Say it again. Say it again, Jackson. All right. He's not going to say it again. All right. So here, let's draw another picture. It says Jane's TV is 5 feet in length and 5 feet wide. Oh, he was talking to his mom. The question is, what is the size of Jane's television? So we want to know what is the diagonal, all right? So look at this rectangle. When we turn it into triangles, we actually get 2 right triangles. Do you see that? Here's one right triangle, here's one right triangle. So our diagonal is the hypotenuse of one right triangle. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. We can turn them into inches if we want, but we don't have to. So what are 5 and 5? Are they the legs? Is one of them the hypotenuse? What are 5 and 5? How do we know how to use that in the Pythagorean theorem? Somebody tell me. 5 and 5 are the blank. What?
Legs.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, the legs, because they form the 90-degree angle, and the diagonal is across from the right angle, which means the diagonal is the hypotenuse. So we're going to do 5 squared plus 5 squared. Both legs are 5, and we want to know what is the hypotenuse squared. Well, what is 5 squared?
25.
25, thank you. 25 plus 25. What is 25 plus 25, everybody?
50.
50. So is the diagonal 50 feet? No, it's c squared. So if c squared is 50, how do we know what c is? How do we find what c is? We find the square root of both sides. So use your calculator. Someone tell me what the square root of 50 is. That is not a perfect square. What do we have? What is the square root of 50? Rounded to the near, let's go ahead and round to the nearest tenths. Use your calculator, people. Anybody know? Square root of 50 is 7.07. So I'm going to say 7.1 feet. 7.1 feet. So the diagonal is going to be longer than both of the legs. Okie dokie. All right, what questions do you have? Anybody have a question? Okay. We're moving on then. Yep, it is about, wait, hold on. Oh my gosh, did it say 3 feet? No, it said 5 feet. The question changed. So it said 5 feet and 5 feet, and then when you get to the solution, they used a 3. So forget about this answer 5.8. I didn't realize there was a typo right there. Sorry. So our answer was correct. It's about 7.1 feet. Even though it says 5.8 because they used the wrong measurement. That was a typo. Sorry about that, everybody. All right, we are moving on. Pedro is standing with his hands in the air and is 7 feet to the tips of his fingers, casting a shadow on the ground. All right, so here's an example of that. Here's Pedro. He's holding his hands up in the air. It's 7 feet to the tip of his fingers, and he's casting a shadow. So his shadow goes all the way back here. The distance from his fingertips to the end of the shadow is 11 feet. So Pedro is 7 feet tall. Let me get my pen working here. 7 feet, and his shadow from here to here is, what did it say, 11 feet. Find the length of his shadow. So what are we looking for? Are we looking for legs, or are we looking for the hypotenuse? Oh, class A. That was a question. All right, I have one answer, legs. So we're looking for the legs. Look at the picture though. Are we looking for legs or the hypotenuse?
Hypotenuse.
Yeah, we're looking for the hypotenuse. We know that this leg is 7 and this leg is 11. So across from the legs is the hypotenuse. So when we use the Pythagorean theorem, the side we're looking for is the hypotenuse. But even if you got it right, but you answered my question, thank you for that. I appreciate it. So we can use 7 and 11 for A and B. It doesn't matter which one. We could interchange these and say 11 squared plus 7 squared. It doesn't matter, but we are looking for the hypotenuse according to our picture. So can anyone help me? What is 7 squared? Thank you, Jimena. 7 squared is 49. What about the next one? What is 11 squared? Can anyone tell me what is 11 squared? Only one person knows out of the whole class? Thank you, Colton. Thank you, Jimena. 11 squared. What?
121.
Thank you, Darius. 121. And we're looking for, oh, I'm going in and out. I apologize. I am recording it. If you can't hear me well, I apologize if my connection is not good. All right, so now we are going to add, what's 121 plus 49? Yes, Jimena, thank you so much. 170 is equal to C squared. So how are we going to find C? If C squared is 170, we're going to find the square root of 170. So who knows the answer? What is the square root of 170? Thank you, Colton. Anyone else know the answer? The square root of 170. We're using our calculators. We'll round to the nearest hundreds. So the square root of 170 rounded to the nearest hundreds is about 13.04 feet. 13.04 feet. All right. Any questions? Is everyone listening? Some of you are here on the Zoom, but I'm afraid you're distracted. You're either watching videos or I don't know what you're doing. Hopefully most of you are paying attention. I hope so. All right, was that one okay? That one was easy to follow? Okie dokie. We're moving on, everybody. All right, look at this slide. Every day, Megan walked from her house to the school. She walked 8 blocks east and then turned south and walked 6 blocks. How far away from her house is she once she reaches the school? All right, so for this one, I'm going to have a starting place. So here's our starting place, okay? It says if she walks 8 blocks east, so I know west, east, so we know she's going to go this way. She's going to go 8 blocks east from her beginning spot. She's going to go 8 miles or 8 blocks this way. And then from here, she's going to go 6 miles south. The question is, how far is she now from her starting place? So the question is basically what? 8 and 6, if she turns sharply south, she's going to make a right angle. Do you agree? So we're looking for what? Are we looking for the legs? Are we looking for the hypotenuse of a right triangle? What are we solving for? Who can tell me? Is this X going to be the legs or the hypotenuse? All right, so remember the two sides that form that right angle are called the legs. So we're looking for the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse must be C in our Pythagorean theorem. So we do have our legs, we have A and B, but we do not have C. And if you answered my question, thank you very much. Even if you didn't get it right, at least you're trying. All right, so we can use 6 and 8 for A and B. It doesn't matter if we use 6 for A or 8 for A. It doesn't matter. So we're going to do 6 squared plus 8 squared is equal to our hypotenuse squared, which we do not know. All right, so who can figure this out for me? What's 6 squared plus 8 squared? What is 6 squared plus 8 squared? Put it in your calculator, guys. Thank you, Colton. Thank you, Jimena. Is anyone out there listening to me? What is 6 squared plus 8 squared? Please send me the answer. Thank you, Darius. I want to hear from Hazi and Zabdi and Jackson and Ashlyn. Oh, I heard from Jackson. Thank you, Jackson. Not Jackson. I heard from Isaiah. Caleb. Claire. Send me an answer, please. All right, so 36 plus 64 is 100, you guys. 36 plus 64 is 100. So how do we find C? If C squared is equal to 100, how do we find C? We find the square root of both sides. So everyone, please answer the question. What is the square root of 100? Isaiah has already answered me. Darius has answered me. Jimena, Colton have answered me. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Zabdi. Thank you, Hayden. 100, the square root of 100 is 10. So she is 10 blocks from where she started, you guys. 10. Very good. So for all, any questions? I saw a little scrunchy face that meant, I don't get what you did. So basically all we did was square 36, which is 36 plus 64. 36 plus 64 is 100. And the square root of 100 is 10. Do you understand? Any questions? Nope. Okie dokie. So she is 10 blocks from where she started. Do you understand, or that does not make sense? How do you feel? How do you feel, everybody? Easy. Ashlyn said easy. I love it. I love it. All right, so the next part is what we're basically going to do on no, actually it's not Wednesday. Next Monday, we're going to figure out how to find the distance between 2 points. So the rest of our slide deck is starting from next Monday on. So that's all there is for today. On Wednesday, we're going to do a few more problems. Real world problems. So I did ask you guys to print out Wednesday's problems if possible. And then you guys have an assignment for Thursday. And then next Monday, we'll work on the rest of this slide deck. So does everybody feel okay today? So good news, tomorrow is a teacher work day, no Zooms, no assignments. So when I meet with you guys again on Wednesday, you guys will be given your assignment for Thursday. How do we all feel? Feel good? Okie dokie. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. We're leaving about 15 minutes early. So there you go. There you go. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for your attendance. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you.